did it. We did it. We did it. All right, next on the chopping block is we're going to take a quick look at Hailey. How with low investment, you can be a pyromaniac killer. I'm Reckless from Reckless Player Gaming. Let's get started. We're going to try to take care of a couple of videos and have them ready for the next couple of weeks because I do have to send my PC out for some repairs. But today's video, we're going to be talking about Hailey. I'm going to show you guys with low investment how you're able to do what we did in the intro. We're going to show you how you guys can take out the pyromaniac with, again, really low investment, but specifically for her. Now, just to show you guys that you can do that, and again, just so you can see it, I have one energy activator and one crystalline catalyst. And I'm only level 25 currently. So even when I made that video, I wasn't even at max level specifically on that. I'm still working on I'm in my first crystalline catalyst. So that's not super important. What it is important is to be able to have, one, a little bit more moss last to be able to put a little bit more damage into it. And the next important thing is to have a really good reactor specifically for her colossus build to be able to tackle it. I'm going to showcase that for you guys today. You might be able to get some purple ones if you don't have a really good gold one. Unfortunately, this week is not her bossing reactor you have out already right now. But this week is her mobbing reactor. So if you guys want to farm out for that, we're going to be going over her base kit. Then I'm going to show you guys my actual build that I did with that intro video. And then we're going to go over the mobbing. And then I plan to update this video once we get transcendent mods for her specifically, so we can see what she changes, like we're going to see what it changes her kit like. Some things I kind of wish would pop up, and I'm going to give you my suggestion that I wish one of her mods comes up, and maybe if I call it right again, maybe the devs are listening. But what we're going to do in this video, we're going to be talking about her base kit, going over her skills. We're also going to be talking about my build that I have specifically for that pyromaniac intro video clip, and I'm going to go over her mobbing setup as well. And then I'm going to update this video whenever there's more transcendent mods specifically dropped for her. So her kit might change, so we are probably going to make videos on that as well. So if you're interested to see that as well, I do have a suggestion that I hope comes out in the game, and there's one little thing I think it might be a bug, but we're going to go over all that. So without further ado, let's get started and show her base kit. Alright, this is her base kit. Let's go over skill 1. Skill 1 is called Cryo Rounds. It shoots up to 9 targets. It does damage and inflicts a debuff called Cryo. Cryo has a duration of 12 seconds, and you can do additional damage of 50%. And it has 9 stacks on there. What's very important, it is a debuff. So keep that in mind with some mods. There are some mods out there that help you do more damage or more duration when it comes to having a debuff. So keep that in mind. That is a debuff when using her 1. A couple things to keep in mind when using her 1. If there is no target in your field of view, you would not be able to activate her 1. Something that's very interesting about her 1 is there is nothing in her kit that shows range specifically. So even though this doesn't show range, you might not be able to actually build on her range here. I can't confirm that, but I can tell you that her range is pretty far. Is not Eugen's skill 4 with his transcendent mod far, where he can be across the map and shoot this, but it has to be within field of view. You will be able to see there is a cutoff, but unfortunately on here in her base skill 1, there's nothing about range. So I wouldn't build anything on range because there's nothing specifically if you're going to be using her skill 1. And keep in mind, her skill 1 is also dimensional. This is the one you could farm this week. Currently I'm making this video when she first came out. So if you're looking for a mobbing build, this is your one ability when it comes to this. What I would love to see is a transcendent mod that possibly changes her 1 up to something else, and we'll go over that in a little bit, but I would like to see what they do with her transcendent mods. Her skill 2 is called Storm Snare. Now what it does is when you activate her 2, it does a chill vortex around her, and it knocks back anybody nearby, any target nearby, and then you do a massive freezing beam. And while you're doing that, that would also inflict cryo. There is a chance again to be able to do 50% more debuff on there because you inflicted cryo. But a couple things to keep in mind. One, this is probably the most hard-hitting skill currently right now in the game. It has nearly 9,000% on her direct beam at the end of that. So this is probably really strong. We're going to talk about a couple things when it comes to that, but I want to go over the first part of the description. Chill Vortex is pretty much the pushback that you do. You could build Chill Vortex with a little bit more range to knock back enemies that are near you. Right now, the base is 5 meters, but you can bring it up to 10 meters if you want. So if you want to make sure you have space when you activate this, you could give yourself a little bit of range so that your targets are not coming right to you right away. You could build it a little bit range. I personally wouldn't, because it's not too much of a difference. I think that if her Transcendent mod for her skill 1, because every single Transcendent mod, if you guys don't know, normally does one of every single ability, and then they change the passive. One thing I would like to see, if they can change her 1 to potentially have a decoy out, so that everyone, all the ads and everything are targeting the decoy while you are doing your actual sniping or you're using your abilities like this. I think would be really cool. My personal opinion, if they change her 1 and give her decoy so that you can actually be a sniper, that'd be really cool. That kind of goes with the whole kit of being a sniper. But again, you could build around range if you wanted to. But the most important thing is landing that direct damage. You have nearly 9,000% damage, which is what's causing a lot of people to do a lot of damage. Anywhere from like 8 to like over 12 million. I keep seeing screenshots of people hitting for really high numbers. So you could go into this. This helps you. Like I said, in my personal intro, I started off with this because this gave cryo to allow my sniper shots to do more damage. So it's up to you guys when it comes to this, but this is a very hard-hitting ability. Alright, the next ability is her third ability called Cold Fury. This is a very interesting thing. One, it slows her down, so if you are moving, you will slow down. And as every second goes by, you will have a stack of Cold Fury added to you. You can have max stacks at 16, and at full stacks of 16, you'll be able to have immunity when it comes to knockdowns. But while you're getting her stacks on, and when you have it max, you're going to increase your firearm, increase your skill critical hit rate, and increase your firearm penetration. And then when you're at max stacks, you'll have increased firearm and skill critical hit rate damage. But keep in mind, you got to be careful when you're rolling or you're trying to grapple, because then it will lose some of your stacks. You will start seeing, as you use your Cold Fury, your body start to cover yourself in ice, and you're going to be slower as you walk. And when you have this pretty much at max stacks, you're looking at 20 additional skill critical damage, 20% additional critical hit rate, critical hit damage, and then you're getting critical hit rate and skill critical hit rate with penetration as well. So this is going to be really strong. This is your buffer here. I don't know if you would ever... They're probably going to be a mod to change this to something else. I don't know why you would take this away, because this is going to be her most damaging buffer. With everything else, yeah, you could do damage, but this is going to make it and put you on another level. Alright, her skill 4 called Zenith. You equip a unique weapon just like Massacre, just like Lepic's 4. It takes the trait, not the ability, but it takes all the damage and everything you can do specifically from that weapon, and it puts it into this unique weapon. You get, as you see, base damage is as equipped weapon, which is the reason why a lot of people are using piercing light, because piercing light currently right now is the most hard-hitting weapon for firearm attack. So you could do that, but as long as, what really matters is as long as your weapon reactor matches for this specific singular build is going to be the most important thing. You could, like I said, I had Python working with me, and I'm going to show you my reactor, and I was able to get it done. So you don't have to use that, but if you're going to really want to make sure it's easier and a little bit more consistent, you're going to want to have possibly piercing light, or maybe even afterglow, but piercing light is probably the most popular one everyone's using. And the damage you're doing is about 3,600, if not more. Yep, 3,600 percent right there, which is crazy. Depending on the type of weapon you have, but also depends on how many shots you have. By default, you have 4. On my Python, I had 5. Some people have 6. So it all depends on that. And every time you hit a specific weak point on her, on the Colossus, you also will get 15% MP back as well. So you get some MP back, so it makes it easier for you to use your other abilities down the line. So keep that in mind when it comes to this. So you're going to want to make sure you have a really good weapon, a solid weapon that's at least built up a little bit to be able to get that base damage over and then be able to use your skill 4. On top of that, depending on how many weak point that you were able to hit, you actually are able to get a cooldown reduction to her specific skill 4, so keep that in mind as well. As you see here on the very top basic information, you get the cooldown, but then you have cooldown reduction when skill ends. That is based on how many successful hits you were able to get to your weak point, so keep that in mind as well when it comes to, you have a 15% chance for every point you do hit, so that does help you out. Alright, now her passive, Safe Strategic Retreat. Pretty much, the further you are away from the target you're about to shoot, the more damage you would do, specifically for weak point damage. So keep that in mind. Right now, you want to have 25 meters or more specifically to be able to enjoy that extra buff. So that's why you want to be further back away as possible. So don't, if you're doing these builds and you're going to miss the 2, don't go too close. Like I said, you're going to be losing some damage if you get too close. You want to be able to get far enough to be able to land those hits and you get the added buff from her passive. Alright, I do want to show you guys something real quick when it comes to her passive specifically. You're going to notice right where the icon is, specifically right next to skill 4, that is actually your passive. And this is how you know if you're in a really good spot when it comes to using your 3, or your 4 specifically. So we're going to go ahead and activate her 3, and then we're going to go into her 4. We're going to replenish this just so you can show you guys. Now when I activate my 4, you're going to see that it's red right now. I don't have really good range specifically for when it comes to the target. This has almost gotten to a little above half, but as you see here, I go further out, I am full maxed out, and this will do the most maximum damage possible when it comes to doing this. Alright, now I want to show you guys real quick my Python. This is my second catalyst inside the Python. Again, I do have it maxed out at 4, but the actual catalyst on here, I only have 2 catalysts currently right now in this specific Python build. Trying to build this up because my reactor, let me show you guys my reactor. My reactor I have is a Python reactor that has chill skill power boost and also singular power boost, and then I have 2 double gold. One is a chill skill power and then skill cooldown. This is not the god roll. The god roll would be potentially to have, instead of skill cooldown, you're probably going to want to have colossus specifically, do a little bit more damage to colossus, but this is still really good overall. If you are in a group build, having a little bit more cooldown will be helpful as well. But what you're going to focus on is whatever weapon you happen to get if you're farming, because sometimes we can't choose our weapon right now. But what you're going to want to make sure you have is a chill singular if you're going for that bossing build, and a weapon that you can feel comfortable using that has really strong stats, or something that you're planning to use more often. You can definitely look into that. Like I said, the strongest one right now is piercing light, so if you have that, that would be a really good one, especially if you have one for colossus. And either chill skill cooldown, chill skill power boost, or singular power boost with the colossus would be really good. But this is just the way I had this one. I saved most of my reactors until I knew when she came out, and then now I'm deleting all the ones I'm not able to use. But this is the one that I just happened to come across, which I was very happy that 1 is Python, which I'm working on, and 2 is double gold stack, stuff that I can actually use. So keep that in mind as well. You're also going to look into using the Slayer set for the more skill power. I would consider making this reactor stronger, but I have a feeling I might farm for a better reactor next week when she becomes available to farm for that reactor. But right now I have 17697 when it comes to the actual skill power. Now I haven't messed with anything when it comes to the actual reinforcement immersion. I'm messing around with this. I don't know how I'm going to change this up, if this actually has some stats. I haven't really been playing the story too much. I'm actually working my way through this, but I wanted to make that video quick clip on yet as possible, and then I also wanted to start working on my Eugen video, so if you guys are interested to see that as well, stay tuned. That would be my next video that I'll be working on as well. I got some crazy numbers to see, and I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek, but I don't want it. Not yet. You're just gonna have to wait. But I have 2 builds when it comes to Eugen, and a potential 3rd build as well. And I'll go over that on that video specifically. If you guys want to see that, stay tuned, subscribe, comment, all that stuff that you guys normally do. Now, when it comes to her mobbing, right now the way I have it set up is very iffy. It's not the best right now. Like I said, I'm trying to work on her mobbing setup. This is just what I have been having right now. Just trying to keep some health and and defense on me, which is what I'm using these two for specifically. Trying to squeeze a little bit more duration so it stays out a little bit longer. Trying to get a little bit more skill power as I do damage. As I keep spamming my 1. Again, this is a mobbing build, so you're not going to be really using the 4 as much. Potentially, you could be using the 2 if if you have it funneled, the ads coming right down the middle. And you can activate your 2, but mostly you're going to be using your 1 and your 3 pretty much to do a little bit more damage. But I have it set up for MP collector, so I can keep spamming that out whenever I want to, and a little bit more cooldown. I'm trying to bring this down as low as possible. As you see here, with my setup with only 1 crystalline catalyst, I have it down to 2 seconds. I'm trying to be able to spam that 1 whenever I want, be easier. But now I need to get to the point where I can do a little bit more damage when it comes to my 1, so that I can just keep spamming as much as possible and making sure those enemies do go down. And there's a chance, like I said, with MP collector, that I'm able to get some MP back to be able to enjoy and keep spamming that 1 as much as possible. This is just what I have right now. As I continue to keep putting more mods, I'm going to keep flip-flopping to see what's the best way to do it. When it comes to this, there are now the option if you want to add another crystalline catalyst. If I don't want to have this C option anymore, I can add another one. But honestly, I don't want to mess with too much. I'm still thinking about doing something like that, maybe with some characters. But I think those would be best for ultimate characters where you really want to invest in a character. But right now, I'm just going to look into what mod slots that I can do for both my builds, and then we'll take it from there. But like I said, when Transcendent mods come out for her, this build can change altogether depending on how it's set up. But if you're looking to farm specifically a reactor, keep in mind there are this week, if you go to your map, you will be able to farm her reactor for chill. And you're looking for dimensional. Potentially you're going to be looking for general rounds. This is what you're going to be looking for. If you wanted to, maybe you got a special weapon, you can maybe use a special weapon to give you your reactor right now. But the best ones are going to be your high power one, like I said, your piercing light, your afterglow, preferably piercing light. Can you use it for your general rounds like I have it? Sure. But if you don't want to wait and you have a good special round weapon, maybe your secret garden or something like that, sure, you can go ahead and farm this one specifically. But you're going to most likely be looking for high power rounds or maybe general rounds if you're just trying to get by. But if you have a special round, you can farm for this one. This is the only singular one right now this week. But again, for mobbing purposes, you're going to be looking at dimensional general rounds specifically. Go ahead and farm that area to get a good one. Let me show you guys the one I have. All right, I haven't done a lot of farming, but I'm trying to do a little farming. Again, I'm trying to make these videos. Also, farm a little bit, play with Eugen, play with this character. There's a lot going on, but currently right now I do have one for the Enduring Legacy, one for Thunder Cage. This one has duration up and colossus, which is okay. But this goes for the Thunder Cage, which is a weapon that a lot of people uses. I know I do. I have it maxed out, so this is what I have. I also have a decent one for a little bit more dimensional skill power boost. And on top of it has crit rate. It is a purple one, but it is a machine gun. You can have it equipped and you guys are good to go. So this could work as well. So just look at your reactor, see if you have anything for dimensional. If you have anything for singular, that could help you out as well. Just keep that in mind. You always want to look at your reactors. Even if you can't get it for this week, you can at least try to see if you have a purple one that can help you out with any of her builds. That would be what I would recommend. That's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm going to be working on Hailey a lot more often. I'm going to try to get her a couple more catalysts inside so I can be a little bit more consistent when it comes to actually doing this. But like I said, as you saw in the intro, I didn't have it leveled up. This is only one catalyst in. I was below level 20, and I was able to do that amazing thing. Again, all you gotta do is have one energy activated just to give you a little bit more space, and I have one crystalline catalyst in there. Could there be a possible way to do it without doing a crystalline catalyst? It might be kind of tough. I didn't get a chance to do that because I already had it when someone told me, hey, there's people doing crazy amount of damage, you should check it out. And I started to, all right, let me switch things around, let me try putting mods in and see how hard hitting this is. And I started noticing, we can take away some colossus just by having this build. So I didn't get a chance to see how it is without one crystalline catalyst, but at least one energy activator, one crystalline catalyst is probably to me the bare minimum to be able to do enough damage. But what's very important is the weapon you use. If it's a really strong weapon you've been working on or you're working on, would be really good. But on top of that, your reactor that you use is going to be very important. That you make sure you have a weapon to go with your singular chill reactor to be able to push out a little bit more damage. It's going to be very important, very key to be able to defeat all these colossus. So keep that in mind. But this is my build. Let me know what you guys think down below. Like I said, we're going to be updating this video when more Transcendent mods comes out. I think October 10th is the update where we possibly have some Transcendent mods for her. We will be updating this video to see how those mods work with her specifically. Do they help make her do a little bit more damage? I kind of hope, like I said, her skill 1 kind of changes to be a decoy. It'd be so cool that as you're getting bombarded with ads, you'd be able to have a decoy out, and then they go to that decoy, and then you activate your sniper, and you can take care of your characters, these ads, correction. Or you can use your 2 where they all piled up on the reactor, the decoy, sorry, and then you use your 2 to destroy them. That'd be really cool to see. I don't know if they will, but if they do it, you heard it here first. But that's pretty much at the end of the video. Comment, like, and subscribe. I see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. My next video that I will have be posting up maybe a week after I have this video posted up will be my Eugen video. I do have to send my PC out for some repairs. I want to be able to have a couple videos ready so that I will be able to have some videos for you guys. But if you want to catch me live, I will be streaming specifically on Twitch until I get my PC back. So those who are on YouTube, if you want to see me live, I live stream there 4 or 5 days a week. Definitely take a look at that. I do have a Discord if you guys are interested. Discord link will be down in the description down below. But if you learned anything specifically and you enjoyed this video in any way, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We're getting close. I think we're close to 400, on our way to 500. So I appreciate you guys. Like I said, stay tuned for our next video, and I see you guys in the next one. Peace.